How's it going, guys? DJ Neeks here, and I'm gonna be discussing today. I'm kind of doing this on the fly because I saw it. This is my vlog review of the Justice League movie. For those of you wondering about if I'm gonna review Thor Ragnarok, maybe. Probably if I see it again, I saw it by myself. I'll probably take my parents to see it, and I'll probably review it after I see it a second time. Um, but I'm filming this on the Saturday of the opening weekend of the Justice League movie. I saw it Thursday night. I've had a full work week, so I was working till like almost midnight on Thursday night, and so I like bolted almost straight from work to the movie theater. I stopped at home to change and get out my work clothes, or whatever, and then just run straight to the movie theater to go see the movie. So I saw it late at night, and I had a full work day yesterday, so my thoughts might be a little foggy. I'm trying to collect my thoughts and everything about the movie to speak on it. But I wanted to get this out for a number of reasons. One, because I'm a huge DC fan. You guys got to understand, I grew up as a kid watching the good old classic Hanna-Barbera Super Friends, with Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Aquaman, Cyborg, Green Lantern. Of course, there was different variations. One had Wendy, Marvin, and Wonder Dog. Another one had the Wonder Twins. Remember them? Of course, my favorite was the Challenge of the Super Friends, because that was the Super Friends going up against the Legion of Doom, with Luthor, Brainiac, Bizarro, Gorilla Grodd, Captain Cold, Black Manta, Cheetah, Sinestro. It was 13 of the most horrible villains across the cosmos and the galaxy. As the old cheesy announcer from the 70s Hanna-Barbera cartoons used to do. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you guys gotta look that up. Look up the Super Friends. Before we knew them as even though in the intro they do still call them the Justice League of America. They did still call them the Justice League, but they were known back then as the Super Friends, And they even referenced this when the Justice League cartoon came around, where Flash is like, so what are we going to be, a bunch of Super Friends? And Superman's like, more of a Justice League. So that's kind of the transition that they did. But anyway, while I'm talking about this, as you can probably see here on the screen, I'm going to be messing around in the multiverse of Injustice 2. I recently picked that up because it was on sale this past week, which makes sense that they would want to put this on sale when the movie is out. And there is a special event going on. You can see timers on each of these worlds here. For the next, it looks like, as I'm recording this, 38 hours, you can actually be able to unlock Justice League movie gear for each of the heroes in the movie. Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Flash, and okay, I guess this is somewhat of a spoiler, but really it isn't. It's really not, because if you really thought this was a spoiler, you're kind of deluding yourself. They even played this in the trailer, and I thought to myself, do they think we're stupid? Like, are they really trying to think this is some sort of big, shocking surprise that none of us are going to see coming? So that's a little warning. There is going to be spoilers talked about in this review about the movie, but really, this, Superman, to me, that's not a spoiler. It was in the trailer, for goodness sakes. They revealed it in the trailer. And anyone knew that there was no way they were going to keep Superman out of the Justice League movie. They would have been out of their minds to do that. So no, to me, it's not a spoiler. Superman is in Justice League. He does come back, okay? Now, how they bring him back, that's kind of a spoiler, and something I didn't really see coming, because I thought he was just going to come back like, all right, time passed, I'm rejuvenated, and I'm back now. But that's not how they did it. So, yeah, that's why he's included there. Plus, this is Injustice. Of course, he's going to be a part of this. So I'm just going to be doing that. I've gotten 2 of the 3. The thing is, I haven't finished this one because, what was it? Oh, this one, because this is the only one remaining, and I need Superman to be level 20, and I think I only have him at level 12 or 13. All I've done, because I picked up this week, I finished the story mode, and only certain characters are leveled because I had to play them in the story mode. So I'm currently working on Batman. Now I'm gonna let you guys know right up front, for any of you watching, I am not a fighting game player, okay? I am not good at fighting games. Fighting games are not my thing. But I sometimes enjoy certain ones, like the NetherRealm games they've been doing in here, like Injustice. I like it. I enjoy it. That doesn't mean I want to go online and go up against people who think that, that if I'm not pro MLG level of play, that means that, that I'm, or some people I've seen on videos say to go kill myself, as I've seen some other people say to those against their online opponents, which is a disgusting thing to do. So I'm doing this. I'm recording this because it's related to the movie, and because I am working on getting this gear to give them better stats, and just because I want to see the cool gear that's related to the movie on these characters. So I'm going to be working on that while also trying to talk about the movie. So let's see here. This is of course going to be Batman. I have him at level 10. So let's do this. Number of opponents here. Going to start off against Raiden. So basically, the movie. I don't think they established how long it's been since the end of Batman vs. Superman, or rather since the end of Suicide Squad, because Suicide Squad did take place after Batman vs. Superman, and there's nothing really to us. Obviously Wonder Woman was about a flashback to World War One. We do check in on the Diana that showed up afterwards, but really there's like I don't think there's anything that they said or established about how much time has passed since then. Like, it's been months, like this many months. It's not like it was in Dark Knight Rises where they were like, it's been 8 years since the Joker terrorized our city. And then you can be like, oh yeah, Bruce Wayne looks like he has been out of it for 8 years. There's nothing like that, as far as I recall. Obviously, I'm going to have to see the movie again to check on those details. But basically, we just check in. But it's obvious time has passed. I don't know how much time has passed, but time has passed because we check in on Batfleck, and he's what's seemingly just doing the old Batman thing of stopping a guy from burglarizing someone's home. Oh, great. But then you find out he's doing something else because he's hanging the guy off the building, and the guy's going, "What do you want?" And he goes, "Fear. They can smell it." And you're like, wait, what? And then you see what looks like one of Darkseid's demons, parademons from, the planet Apocalypse, and you're like, oh, okay. So he was using the guy to be afraid to draw it out so he could capture it because he wants to find out more about it. Because he is finding out that something is coming. We also check in on Wonder Woman, who is, just still being kind of secretive, but still at times just kind of scouting things out to see, as Wonder Woman, to see like, oh, how's the city doing and the people. And what's funny is that there's a bank, the bank robbery scene they showed in the trailer. So we see that. What's funny is that I noticed the actor playing the lead bank robber was someone that you'll probably recognize if you watch a certain show. I'm not gonna say what it is though. But if you watch that show, you'll notice exactly who it is. Land 8 meter burn special. I don't use meter burn special moves. But yeah, we see that. We see Wonder Woman just, doing her thing. The characters that we do check in on that weren't part of the previous ones, obviously Flash and Cyborg, we do kind of check in on them. We check in on Aquaman, but only after Batman's like, all right, it's time to head north and start recruiting for the team, because he wants Aquaman to be a part of the team. And so he goes to that village that we saw in that Comic-Con trailer. And, it's pretty much, again, it's like, if you saw the trailer, you know what to expect. You have seen some of these scenes, and so you're not really going to be surprised by that much in some of these scenes, because, well, if you saw it in the trailer, you're going to know what happens. So I wasn't really surprised about any of that stuff, other than, there's little details here and there, like Batfleck, Bruce Wayne, whatever. He notices a drawing on the wall of Aquaman coming out of the ocean to give them fish, as well as 3 boxes. He's like, what's those 3 boxes? And he's like, that doesn't matter. Oh, whoops. All right, well, here's Captain Cold Super. But he went out to go recruit him, and he fails because Aquaman's like, I don't want no part of this. He's just kind of a someone who doesn't care about his responsibility as being king of Atlantis. He just wants to get drunk and have, just do his own thing. We do check in on Atlantis though, and we get to see Mara, his beloved, his I don't think they established that he was already with her or that he's going to be with her. They weren't really clear about whether or not he's already king of Atlantis or if he's just, Arthur Curry and hasn't embraced it. If you want to know kind of that aspect I'm talking about, they did a good animated movie. I think it was called Throne of Atlantis. I highly recommend checking it out. It was a really good movie exploring the origin of Aquaman, and especially with the aspect that while one of his parents was from Atlantis, I think it was his mother, his dad was a human from the surface world, and so that's why he has that conflict of being a part of both worlds, in that regard. They don't really explore that here in this movie, but it was just kind of a quick tease, which I think they will explore that in Aquaman's own solo movie. But you do get to see Amber Heard as Mara, and she looked good. They showed her in action, and it was like, okay, I'm looking forward to seeing this Aquaman movie, with the two of them, with Momoa and Amber Heard. Looks awesome. The Flash stuff, so I do watch the CW Flash show, so the whole him going to see his dad in prison, it's like, yeah, I've seen this before. I saw it in like the first season. Oh, that's a really good Green Lantern gear. That's a cool looking skin. It looks like he's a White Lantern. That's awesome. Have to see what I can do about getting that. Sadly, you're not going to be able to get any movie gear for Green Lantern, although there is a thing referencing Green Lantern, not necessarily a specific Green Lantern, just a Green Lantern in general. There's no, Hal Jordan. There's no, John Stewart. They don't really specifically, say or indicate which Green Lantern it is. They just, when they're showing a flashback about the ancient battle involving the 3 mother boxes and the villain, Steppenwolf, Darkseid's uncle, and I'm not doing well here. They show a Green Lantern, just some generic Green Lantern involved in that ancient battle from long, long ago. Wow, oh gosh. Well, this is not going well for me. But it was a nice little, them acknowledging, it's like, hey, this, Green Lantern, he's coming. It just, it's just their way of, letting us know he's on the way. They're like, the whole Green Lantern thing, they're going to be doing that soon at some point. It's going to happen, just not right now. That's basically what it was saying, to me anyway, because I'm a huge Green Lantern fan, and I want a good Green Lantern movie, not like what we got with the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie. Funny thing, for the longest time, I thought the movie wasn't that bad. Because I was fascinated with the scenes on Oa, but while also trying to be a little forgiving of the whole villain thing. But I've seen it since then, and I was like, yeah, this is not good. I can totally understand, especially with the jokes we had later on in Deadpool, where Reynolds is like, yeah, no, let's not reference that. Let's just forget about that. Can I still pull this off? No, I don't think so. This is gonna be tough. Oh my gosh, could I pull this off? Oh, I did. I pulled it off. Woo! Oh, that was close. But it was just kind of a nice way for them to acknowledge, hey, Green Lantern is on the way. We haven't forgotten about him. So, Batfleck recruits Flash into the group. And yeah, I guess I should reference or talk about the villain because of the whole mother box thing, which is a thing. I knew what the mother boxes were because, of course, partly because they're the loot boxes in this game. So if you've been playing this game, you're like, oh yeah, mother box, I know what that is. and they acknowledge it, because it's what helped make Cyborg what he is. With the whole him being in an accident, and his dad was trying to save his life and give him help him recover his body. That he didn't know what it was, the mother box or whatever. He thought, as they've established, kind of like they're like, oh my gosh, this could be the key to answering all of our problems with like unlimited energy and all this, all that typical stuff you've heard in other movies. And it causes Victor Stone to become Cyborg. And so, there we go. But I will say, I was pleasantly pleased that they really focused a lot on Cyborg in this movie. They really gave him a nice character development story arc in this movie. So if you don't know much about Cyborg or his character, you're going to get to know a bit more in this movie, because he does get quite a bit of time to shine in this movie. Yeah, some of the other ones probably didn't get that much, like Aquaman kind of gets put on the back burner, and Flash doesn't necessarily get put on the back burner. He's more so the comic relief, because he's supposed to be the green rookie who hasn't gone up against much and hasn't fought that much, which of course, tells me he clearly has not gone up against some of the villains that we know him to go up against, such as Reverse Flash. We've already seen, I've seen him do that in the first season of the Flash show, but clearly this is not that same Flash. It's not the same actor, and it's clearly a different established Flash for this universe. So that's kind of important to know in case you're curious about that. They're not like doing a complete carbon copy or whatever of that. So I could just sleep back and forth. That was funny. But they show Steppenwolf, which for those of you who don't know, Steppenwolf is, and I've been hearing people say this, and I do agree, but I understand why. He's not really that great of a villain in this, but you gotta understand, he's not supposed to be that great of a villain in this, because he's not the big bad guy. He's the big bad guy's uncle. Yes, Steppenwolf is the uncle of Darkseid. He's not supposed to be the big baddie. He's the guy who's supposed to show up at Earth, scout the place, and make it more appropriate for Darkseid's arrival. He's not supposed to be the big bad guy like Thanos. I guess you could say he's supposed to be similar to what Loki kind of was in Avengers, where he wasn't really the big bad guy. He was just kind of setting the stage for the big bad guy to show up. Though he doesn't give as great of a performance as Loki did. Ooh, new belts. Nah, I'll keep what I've got. But, I didn't mind that he wasn't that great of a villain, because I understood he's not really supposed to be that great of a villain. He's just there to help be that force that brings the team together, So, they show a flashback of that ancient fight, saying that the mother boxes were separated. The Amazonians keep one, the Atlanteans keep one, men keep one. And they say that without knowing that it was the mother box of men that made Cyborg what he is. Whoops. What is with that hat he has on? But anyway, it's gosh, I'm trying to think on my fighting here, because I don't want to lose here while also thinking about the movie. So they do the whole recruitment thing. They discuss, they have a lot of discussion. Diana pretty much explains to Bruce the whole thing about the mother boxes and Steppenwolf. She's the one that is supposed to know all about this and kind of explains the story and the history about all that stuff. So she's the one explaining to them about it. And they go after and try to stop him. They're not quite that successful, and they come to the conclusion, especially when Cyborg, because Steppenwolf shows up to Themyscira. We get to see Themyscira after the Wonder Woman movie. He takes the mother box from the Amazons. He goes down to Atlantis. He takes the mother box from the Atlanteans, which is where we have that scene with Aquaman and Mara. And so then they're going, well, he just needs one more. Where could that possibly be? And then Cyborg is like, it's right here, because it's the thing that made me what I am. And Bruce decides, you know what? We obviously can't beat this guy without Superman. Why don't we use that thing to bring Superman back to life? And I was like, is that where they're going with this? Is that how they're going to establish him coming back? They're going to say that there was no way he was going to come back unless they used the mother box to bring him back? Because that's not quite how I understand the Superman lore in terms of him being able to regenerate and come back on his own. But obviously, you know, when it comes to these guys, Chris Nolan, Zack Snyder, Joss Whedon, they want to do their own thing. So, you know, they're all saying that this is not that great of an idea because it's a possibility that while he may come back, he may not be the same. Saying that, you know, Aquaman says something like, when you die, you lose a part of yourself. And even if you do come back, there's no guarantee you will have that, you'll keep that, or you'll ever get that back. Land 3 special moves during the match. That shouldn't be too hard. And then we get some other dialogue referencing what happened in the Wonder Woman movie with Steve Trevor. And basically they said, yeah, let's still go ahead and try and go through with it. And it involves a cool sequence with Flash having to really show what he's capable of in order to help bring Superman back, showing that, hey, it wasn't just, hey, let's use that. Oh, look at that, it worked. Like, they had to do other really tough, difficult things in order to, like, pull it off, such as Flash being able to generate enough power with his, you know, super speed. By the way, yes, I am, in case your eyes do not deceive you, that is, in fact, Hellboy that I am fighting. He is in this game. But hey, the Ninja Turtles are coming too, so that's something to keep in mind. But yes, that is who you're seeing right now. It may be a little hard to recognize him because of that gear, but that is who that is. All right, come on. Oh, come on. Stop it. Anyway, so basically after that, it works, but he comes back and he doesn't quite remember everything. He's kind of like confused on who he is or what, you know, on his memories and such and what happened, where he actually starts to fight them. And there's a really cool, funny sequence where he is like holding all the members except Flash. So then Flash goes into his super speed and he tries to go around, like in the slow motion thing that we can see. He tries to go around, and, you know, and what's really great is that while he is trying to run around Superman in his super speed, you see Superman slightly turn his eye and then slightly turn his head to look directly at Flash, and Flash has this look on his face like he is just shocked out of his mind that someone is able to actually see him while he is moving at super speed. Like, he looked like he was gonna, you know, crap his pants. It was hilarious. It got a huge laugh from the crowd that I saw it with. Establishing, you know, and this movie does like to play up that whole aspect that we have always joked around and debated about who is faster. Oh my gosh, he countered that. About who is faster, Flash or Superman. So this likes to joke around about that. But Bruce tells Alfred to bring in the big guns, which of course ends up being Lois, and they fly away to the farm, and I suppose apparently some time passes where he tries to regain his memories, I think, because it's kind of confusing because time passes and then it's just like, wait, all of a sudden he's like, yes, I know exactly who I am, and you're like, wait, how long did that take? You know, the thing about this movie that I think is a bit obvious is that it feels like there's some stuff cut out. The movie is just under 2 hours long. It's an hour and 59 minutes, and it feels it. It feels like there was supposed to be more, and it was cut out. Why? I don't know. Probably for the same reasons that the extra half hour of plot hole answering footage was cut out of the Ultimate Edition of Batman vs. Superman to increase the sales of Blu-rays. I suspect, possibly, maybe. So I don't know. I don't look. I have always said if Lord of the Rings can pull off 3 separate 3-hour movies, there is no reason that you can't have your superhero movies be 3 hours long, because people will still watch it if they are fans enough. People were fans enough of Lord of the Rings that they didn't mind it was 3 hours long, and I guarantee you it would be the same thing. At least I think so. I certainly wouldn't mind. I don't want stuff cut out that actually helps answer and explain stuff. I am really struggling here against Hellboy. Hopefully this can turn the fight around. But it just feels like there were things cut out, because you then, after he flies away with Lois, you then see all of a sudden Steppenwolf's teleport show up, where it's like, oh, he's gonna get the mother box. Oh no, he's gone now. He has it, and it's like, what? Really? That's it? He just teleported behind the building that they were looking at, and he just grabbed it and took off. There was no fight scene or anything there of them trying to stop him. Nothing. It felt like either something was cut out, or if that's how it was always supposed to be shot, then yeah, it felt lazy. Man, I am really struggling here against Hellboy. But and so the team thinks that Superman is going to be a no-show, because they think that, well, he obviously doesn't know who he is, he hasn't bring in his memory, so we can't rely on him to be part of the fight with us to help stop Steppenwolf, because of the whole, he's going to unite the 3 mother boxes, which is going to destroy the world and set the stage for Darkseid to show up. Because, of course, we know that's what this is all building to. Oh my gosh. The AI just kicked it up a notch here. Man, these combos he is landing on me. Yikes. I am doing so badly right now. Oh my gosh, why does he have that ability there to just fly from the whole length of the screen? Okay, anyway, back to talking about the movie. So they figure, well, it looks like we're just gonna have to go in there and fight without Superman. You're probably gonna see this match a number of times. Oh my gosh, I am doing so badly right now. So we have them have their shot of they're flying to the big finale battle, and they're going to try and stop Steppenwolf from destroying the world, supposedly without Superman to help. And but you all know he's going to show up. We all know, and I take issue with the people who made this, who are either advertising this movie or made this movie, treating us like we are unintelligible idiots who don't know any of the material. Oh my gosh, I am I am not doing well right now. But oh my gosh, he immediately the difficulty is not supposed to be set that high right now. Oh man. But anyway. Oh man. I am struggling so much right now. It's like I may have to just try and hold on. All right. So we have our big cool sequence. The big action. The third act is where things get really fun, because it's them coming together as a team. Fighting against Steppenwolf and his army of parademons, and all right, and surprise, surprise, Superman does show up to help. He has a funny line. We have some good dialogue where they realize that there are civilians nearby, and Batman sends out Flash to go save civilians, but then Superman goes, "They're civilians," and he starts to go, "Flash is already." He's like, "There's more," and he takes off to go save them, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, Superman's saving people!" I'm like, really? It's the people who still have the big problems that they had with Man of Steel, even though I didn't think it was that big of an issue, but people who wanted to hate on Man of Steel just won't let that stuff go. But it was a fun finale sequence with them taking him down, and them seeing them together. That's what's fun about this, and what carries this movie is seeing them come together as a team. You're seeing this group finally on screen together, fighting together. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose this one. But yeah, it ended up being making that whole, including the finale part, just really fun and enjoyable because of that. And it's basically, obviously, not supposed to be. It doesn't have that epic grand feel that Avengers did, where you were like seeing this whole thing come together, and it just felt amazing because we had never seen something like that before. It doesn't have that feel to it, unfortunately, but oh my gosh, come on, there we go. I think I just won, finally. But it was still enjoyable if you've been a longtime DC fan and you have grew up with things like the Justice League, like the Super Friends. I enjoyed it in that regard. There are a couple of great credit scenes. The first one is a straight up like fan service scene, which I'm convinced Joss Whedon did this one. Because as I mentioned, they play up the aspect of how fast are Superman and Flash and who is faster. Well, the mid scene is Superman goes and Flash, they're gonna race because they want to determine who is faster. And that is comic book fan 101. It's like, we are gonna answer this once and for all. Who is faster? I just love that they wanted to solve that themselves. So that was great fun to see that. But the credit scene at the end of the credits, and I mean the very end of the credits, you have to wait till the very end to see it, but oh my goodness, is it worth it. So, the scene at the end of the credits, we do get our return from Jesse Eisenberg's Luthor. Yes, he is back. Unfortunately, they did not do a recast. No matter how much we wanted them to, he is still Luthor. He made it out. He escaped. Big shocker. Though what was funny was it's a stand-in, and they think it's Luthor, but it's somebody else, and the guy starts laughing, and I thought, did he borrow this from Joker or something? Because I feel like I've seen Joker do this to Batman, where they thought Joker was in his cell, and then it turns out to be somebody else posing as Joker. But, anyway. But the shocker moment for me was that we see a ship, like more like a yacht or something, like someone's private yacht. Oh my gosh, I am getting annihilated here. And the person who walks on the ship to talk to Luthor, my mouth dropped to the floor. Deathstroke. Deathstroke shows up to speak with Luthor, and Luthor is talking with him about making a league of their own, which, we have seen, I think, the Injustice League. We've seen, in my case, it was the Legion of Doom, which, oh my, if we're going to lead to another movie where we do that, I'm all for that. I'm just curious about what's going to happen first. A movie against the Legion of Doom or a movie against Darkseid? Who's going to be the force that happens first? And who are we going to end with? But just the fact that a fan favorite like Deathstroke was there, that was a shocker for me. I was so pleasantly surprised to see them put Deathstroke in the movie. I think I found out that the guy, if you're curious who was it that was playing Deathstroke, it was not the guy who played Deathstroke in Season 2 of Arrow. It's not that same guy. If it had been, I would have lost my mind in terms of wondering if they were going to do a continuity thing between the shows and the movies. But it actually was the guy who played Flash Thompson in the Tobey Maguire movie. I am not kidding. That guy is now Deathstroke. So if that means we're going to be getting more of Deathstroke in the other extended universe movies, which I would be totally fine with, because, hey, we have Deathstroke, we now have Cyborg, are we maybe even going to get a Teen Titans movie? Since Deathstroke usually was a big opponent and rival of the Teen Titans. So, the fact they got him in there, a big fan favorite like Deathstroke, was quite a pleasant surprise. I'm sure a lot of people are just going to absolutely love seeing that scene. Not so much the Eisenberg Luthor. I wasn't pleasantly surprised because he was still acting weird. He was still like, don't you think we should make a league of our own? He was still being crazy Luthor Jr. from Batman vs. Superman, which drove me nuts. I couldn't stand that. And he was still acting that way. So, I really want him to tone it down. If they're going to bring him back, please have him tone it down. That's all I'm saying. Just know him trying to be like the Joker. Be like Lex Luthor, for goodness sakes. I don't care if you're supposed to be Lex Luthor's son. We don't need you to be all crazy. We need you to be, smart, methodical, diabolical. Like, my intelligence is the thing that rivals Superman's strength. That kind of thing. That's what he's supposed to be. If he can be able to do that, toning it down, then I think I wouldn't have as much of a problem with that casting. they're just a little change like that would make a huge difference. But the bottom line, I enjoyed this movie. It does have its issues in terms of I think there was stuff cut out, so there's like stuff that I'm like I think that could have been answered better with another scene, but maybe it was left on the cutting room floor. Maybe we'll see it in the Blu-ray version. I don't know. I do know that the Blu-ray version of the Ultimate Edition of Batman vs. Superman makes that movie much better than it first was when it came out in theaters because it answers some plot holes. But maybe that'll be the case with this movie. I don't know. But I still enjoyed this more than both Batman vs. Superman and vs. Suicide Squad. So I definitely recommend it. I don't know how people are going to react to it or feel about it if they are not fans of DC or not fans of Justice League and Super Friends, but if you are, then I think you will definitely enjoy this. I think the Rotten Tomatoes score is a bunch of baloney. I think critics are going out of their way to give it a negative score. I don't put any viability or credit into that score. I think some of those critics are not being professional. I think they are not really being completely honest. I think they have possibly an agenda to fulfill. So I don't trust the Rotten Tomatoes score at all. I think the movie is better than what they are claiming. I think people should still go and see it, and they will still enjoy it. This whole aspect of these critics, they are the only ones who know what a movie is supposed to be or what it's supposed to entail or what makes a good a movie good. What I am the one who says that. What these critics think. These are people who didn't like classic beloved movies like Hook, which I will always love. But yeah, some of the more enjoyable movies over time have horrible Rotten Tomatoes scores from critics, but that just shows how little credential and viability you can put into what they say about grading and evaluating a movie. So I still like the movie. I mean, it's not great, it's not amazing like Avengers was. It didn't have that same feel to it, but it's not awful. It's just because it's a DC movie doesn't mean it's terrible. I still think it's a good movie. I would, it's not fantastic. I would say if I was to give it a number score, I would say probably like a 7 out of 10. I think would be fair. But that's partly because I'm a big DC fan and know a lot of what's going on and know these characters. Probably to the average moviegoer, they may not get or like or enjoy some of the other stuff, but if you are a fan, you owe it to yourself to see this movie because I think you will still like and enjoy a bunch of what this movie has to offer. So that's what, those are my thoughts on the Justice League movie. I wanted to get this out because, of course, I know there's been a lot of hoopla, a lot of, talk about this because of all the backlash that it's been getting from critics, and people are wondering if it's garbage or trash. And I'm trying to let you guys know it's not, especially if you are a fan. If you're not a fan, like I suspect some of these critics are, then perhaps they're just not going to enjoy it as much as some of us do. But sometimes when you look at some movies, like I recommend going to a channel called Cinema Wins, where I'm sure some of you are familiar with the channel Cinema Sins, where they list off everything wrong about a certain movie. Well, there's a sister or brother channel, however you look at it, where that channel discusses everything great about particular movies. And on that channel, they did make videos listing off everything great about Batman vs. Superman, everything great about Suicide Squad. A lot of movies that you may not like, they actually do list off all the good things about it. And when you watch it, you're like, yeah, maybe it's not as bad as I thought. So, if you think Batman vs. Superman was complete garbage, well, maybe check that out and maybe it might change your mind. I don't know. To me, it's not. After seeing that, I was like, you know what? Maybe it's not complete bad. I still have issues with it, but maybe it's not complete trash like some of us thought it was. And I think the same way about this one. Of course, this one I think is going to have a much better second weekend than Batman vs. Superman did. I think more people are going to go back to see this than they did Batman and Robin, since that was the comparison that we made with Batman vs. Superman. So, I again highly recommend going to see it if you're a DC fan. I think you owe it to yourself. And as I said at the beginning of this video, I'll probably when I see Thor Ragnarok a second time later on, like with my folks or something, then I'll probably do a review on it once I have seen it a second time to refresh my memory on the movie, as well as now that I know what to expect, maybe I'll have been able to enjoy that movie a bit more than I did the first time, only because it took some getting used to because the movie was so different than what I would expect. So those are my thoughts on Justice League, and I will see you guys next time.